Coming up on Open for Business, we talk to the Annapolis Blues Football Club. Today on Open for Business, we're excited to highlight the Annapolis Blues Football Club. We're entering their third season here in Annapolis, and it's become a big part of the Annapolis community. They're expanding their impact, but we'll talk about that today. But one of the big things is an introduction of a women's team. Joining us today is Devin Pugh, the Director of Community Outreach. And he is here to share how the Blues are connecting with students, families, and the community. Thank you for being here today, Devin.
Thanks for having me, Louis.
I'm excited. I'm a huge football fan, and I'm saying football specifically because, I know there's American football and football. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is with the Annapolis Blues.
Yes, so I'm Director of Community Outreach for Annapolis Blues FC. Essentially, my motto is to make sure that we, as much as an impact that the Blues have made on the pitch in the past 2 seasons, that we make the same impact off the pitch. So I'm connecting with nonprofits. I'm out and about in the community, not only just growing the Blues, but growing the game of soccer, especially in underserved communities, and making sure that soccer is accessible for all.
And that's important to know because I've had the opportunity to be abroad a little bit, and football or soccer is something where in the United States it's a kind of a have-nots kind of thing, and I love the fact that what the Blues are doing is really reaching back. Now the Blues have some history. This is their third season here, but They're in a historic place in the Navy Marine Stadium. So tell us a little bit about the history that the Blues have been making here in Annapolis.
Yes, so this has been our third season. We are currently in the USL, the United Soccer League. This will be our first season in the USL. We were previously in the NPSL, the National Premier Soccer League, for our previous 2 seasons. We do play all of our games at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. It is a 30,000 plus capacity stadium, so we are very honored to have such a huge historical stadium be our home every season and every game this season as well.
And what's exciting is the ambiance in that stadium. Really, you feel it resonates.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the things that has been impressive is that I went to the first season, watched a couple of games, and the team was really good. So what's the progress been with the men's team as it is, and what are some of the anticipated things you expect for the team this year?
Yes, so we have been we're very excited. We've actually won 3 trophies in our 2 seasons of existence so far, including our Mid-Atlantic Conference was probably our biggest trophy that we've won in our inaugural season. There's video on that all over the internet, so we're very excited about that. We won our conference as well that season and last season as well, so those are where the other 2 trophies come from, and we did finish as the #1 team in the entire country in the regular season. So there has been a lot of success in a short amount of time. We're very thankful for that, and we are looking to capitalize it in a brand new league, so we're very excited about that.
And even though I know in the United States there's no sort of promotion relegation kind of thing, for you all to move up shows the growth in the ground that you've gained. So what has it been like to be in and work in the Annapolis community in Anne Arundel County for the Blues?
It's been amazing, honestly. The community has embraced us since day one. I always like to say, to build community, especially the community that we have, it takes a lot of conscious effort from multiple parties, and we've just been so thankful to be a beneficiary of it. People have embraced the Blues in every capacity since day one, before we've even kicked the ball. So it's been so awesome to just see the fruits of that labor pay off, and just to see the people that believe in us, for a lack of a better term. It's been awesome just to embrace it and be out and about, and just you see people walking by in Blues attire, and you just, people are so excited. Up the Blues, can't wait for the season. And just anytime that you're walking around in Blues gear, people are happy to come up to you and talk to you, and just the great time that they have at the game, the great time that they have with their families, and that's really what it's all about. It's just bringing people together, honestly, and we're just so thankful for it.
Well, and sort of looking at what you did in the first 2 seasons, entering your third season with the men's team, what was the motivation to bring on a women's team? Because I think women's sports, specifically women football in the United States, has been successful sort of on a global standard. So tell us a little bit about the story on the introduction of the women's team this year.
Yeah, so it was actually in talks for a while, just with us growing and the success of women's sports very recently, just the growth, the exponential growth of women's sports. As we've grown, it just seemed to be a no-brainer to bring a women's team on, and now just felt like the perfect time, especially with us being moving into a new league. Our women, we will have them in the same league. They'll be in the USLW league as well, so a very popular upcoming league that they will get to play in as well. So we're very excited about that, and it was just the perfect time to pull the trigger on it. And we have such a great cast, a great GM, a great front office, and our players are just equally excited and amazing. We're very excited to show them off later in the month.
Well, and it's exciting, and I mean, obviously the excitement is there, and hopefully, the production is there as well too. Obviously, it's a new team, so you can have a little leeway on that. But one of the things that you've shown is you've shown sort of a propensity to understand what's going on in the community, and so you have a couple of outreach programs that you do, and I know you work within the community. So, what are some of the outreach programs that you've been working on in the time that you've been here in the community?
Yes, we have great relationships with a lot of nonprofit organizations, especially organizations that serve underserved youth. We've been very fortunate to build a lot of great relationships with a lot of Title I schools in the Anne Arundel County area, and especially through MSYSA, the Maryland State Youth Soccer Association, which is the overarching soccer organization for youth soccer in Maryland. We have a great relationship with them through their Let's Play program, where they go into these Title I schools and they hold soccer clinics for kids, typically third to fifth grade. These kids are their first time playing soccer. They do not typically have the resources to play soccer on more like a club stage or anything like that. So these kids they get shirts, they get cleats. We partner with another organization leveling the playing field. That's another organization that we work with. They refurbish cleats that they give to the kids. So these kids really get that first taste of soccer. And we're fortunate that we're even able to bring a few players out to these clinics, so these kids get to have somebody that they have a role model for, that these kids get to follow and see somebody that plays at an elite level coach them, and then keeps them inspired to want to play and grow in the game as well. So
I think that's great, and specifically, I know here in Anne Arundel County, we just started middle school sports this
yes.
year, and well, brought back middle school sports, and obviously, football or soccer was the first sport, boys and girls, and it felt so right to see that because because I think your announcement came out first about the women's team,
Hmm.
and then for the schools to have the boys and girls teams, which I think is super exciting. Um, are there any standout moments that kind of that stick in your mind about the times that you and the team have gone out to work with any of the your community partners?
There's so many that especially come to mind. I was very thankful to partner with Anne Arundel County Food Bank. We've had a couple players come out to their mobile food banks where they give out food to the local community, and a couple of our players were able to be a part of that. Like I said, the Maryland State Youth Soccer Let's Play clinics. It's so awesome to see these kids. I've been in even they've expanded all over Maryland, especially here in Anne Arundel County, but they've even had clinics in Baltimore, in downtown Baltimore, in underserved areas in Baltimore. We've had clinics there as well that I was able to bring players out, and you can really tell that this was these kids' first time playing soccer or really having any kind of organized activity of any capacity, and just to kind of see that and see that excitement, and then to have a player come out from that we can bring out to there and they can learn from that and just kind of keep them inspired in that sense. It really shows like the fruits of your labor are paying off. Anytime that you can keep a kid inspired and keep them encouraged to continue to play the game, that's when you know you're kind of doing something right. So
Yeah, and I think, and now correct me if I'm wrong. I think you've done things in the past where when you have games at the stadium, you have opportunities sometimes like pregame where kids can come out and like run on the field and things like that, right?
yes, we do have opportunities where kids can play. Another great opportunity that we actually were able to do last season, we partnered with Casey Cares Foundation. One of our former players, he actually was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago. He's completely free of it now, thank goodness. But he was able to speak to these kids in Casey Cares Foundation. We actually had a nice little pregame experience for them. They got to tour the locker room. They got to sit with him And this is Webb Kosich, by the way. This is our player. They got to talk with Webb in the locker room, and it was really just the locker room was completely closed off. It was just for us, and they could really kind of talk and see, the growth. They could see how a player has overcome his trials and tribulations, and kind of give them the strength to overcome theirs as well. And it was just a great, awesome moment and opportunity, and it was very heartwarming to be a part of that.
I can believe that. And so one of the things I recognize is that your season, which starts around now in this month and runs into the July, like early July, it's during really the months when kids are either waning out or getting ready to finish school. So is there something specifically you do to kind of connect? Obviously, the adults are easier to connect than the children, but to connect with, keeping the youth engaged in the season while you're playing.
It's really just getting them there and having them have a role model. So we have so many players, right, that are on our roster. And if they get to see these players outside, and whether they come to their youth practices, whether they come to the organizations that we partner with, and they get to talk with these players and meet these players and play with these players, and then they get to come to the games and they get to see these players on the pitch, and they're like, hey, I saw you, and they never forget that. It's such a once in a lifetime opportunity for them to really connect with that player on an intimate level. And once they kind of build that connection, it really keeps it keeps the kids engaged to want to come back, to want to grow, and just continue to stay in the soccer industry. And it's you're doing your job right when you see the same kids, once you see them and meet them, once they start showing up every single week and coming back, that's when you've really started to make that impact on them.
Oh, for sure. And so, tell us a little bit about a game day experience because this year it's different. Like I said, I've been to games before where obviously it's the men team, but this year you have some times where the men and the women play on the same day. So, what is that
Yes.
going to look like?
It's going to be a busy day for sure, but we're very excited about it. We want to make sure that we are giving our fans as well as our players the greatest opportunities to succeed. So we will be having up to 4 doubleheaders this season. They will be back-to-back games for our home opener. Our women will be the headlining team for their first game of the season, and then our men will be the headliners for the rest of them. But we're very excited for these opportunities, just to give the fans more opportunities to see the Blues, to see these players, to engage with these players, and the players love it. So they will be back-to-back games. Typically, double headers will start at 5. The first game will start at 5, and then the next game will start around 7:30. So they will be back-to-back. So you get to essentially spend a whole day with the Blues, and or a whole afternoon, evening with the Blues, and we're very excited for it.
And so, what is the feedback you've gotten from people on the experience of going to the games?
We've had such a positive feedback. I mean, and I mean this in the most honest, non-biased way. I can hardly recall the negative feedback that we've gotten from a game. I can count essentially on one finger. It is such a family-friendly environment. The kids love it. There's so much space in the stadium, and it's general admission seating, so you don't necessarily have assigned seats. So you can sit wherever you want, essentially in the stadium. And so you have people that sit in one section one time and another section the other time, so they get to see different sides of the stadium, different parts of the game, and it's really engaging, and just the families love it. And that's really what it's all about, is making sure that it's a family-friendly environment, that families feel free to bring their kids and they know that they're going to have a good time. It's going to be worth their money, and their kids are going to have a blast. And if we get a win, that's all the better.
For sure. And so, as we start to wrap up a little bit, can you tell us where would people find information for the team and like how they can get connected to the team?
Yes, you can follow us on social media. We're on pretty much every channel of social media. Facebook, we are on X, we're on Instagram, or even on TikTok. So we have a channel on all those, and then of course AnnapolisBlues.com. You can find information on everything Blues.
Okay, and so as sort of as a final thought, what would you want to leave with the people who are watching this, the young people, the people older than the young people, about this coming season and what they should get or think about when they're going to experience a night with the Annapolis Blues, men or women team?
We want to make sure that we are driving home soccer is for all. Soccer is an experience for everybody, and there should be no barriers for anybody to enjoy a soccer match. Does not matter your resources, anything like that. We want to make sure that you can enjoy a soccer game, and there's no barrier at all to hold you back. Pretty much is why we have our Kicks for Kids Foundation as well, by the way. It's an organization that we hold where we do collect donations, that we do partner with nonprofit organizations that serve underserved youth, Title I schools, in Title I schools and in nonprofit organizations. All these donations we do take and flip them into tickets that we give to these nonprofits so kids can enjoy a game free of charge, to make sure that there are absolutely no barriers in the way for a kid to inspire to grow through the game of soccer.
That's amazing. And, with the World Cup coming, you're going to give them a good pathway to enjoy it properly.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for being here. And thank you for watching Open for Business.